My name's Lynda. My son David had a brain tumour. He was diagnosed when he was 19 and told he had 5 years to live. But of course, David being David, that wouldn't work. So he ended up living 25 years and did everything that he wanted to do. He completed university, did different jobs, ended up as a chaplain at St Mary's High School. And that was his calling, really. He loved being there. And so he did all the treatment he could do. He did everything. He worked as a chaplain, as I say, at St Mary's, and was really totally fulfilled. His life was everything he had wanted, which was normal. He got married. They had to go through IVF to have Louis because of David's chemotherapy and radiotherapy. And, thank God it worked. June 24, we were normal, regular hospital appointment, and they said, I'm sorry, there's nothing more. It is now terminal, which came as such a shock. The big problem after that for David was everything stopped. We were so busy with 3 monthly hospital appointments, with chemotherapy and all that, and everything stopped. So it was hard. And it was that point that we met Karen and Rick, the physio. And he started coming here to the Well Centre, which was good because it gave him a meaning, something to do. He managed to work right up to the Christmas holiday at school, so he did really well. And then suddenly, one day he was fine, and then the next day he woke up, his legs wouldn't work, his bladder wouldn't work. It just came like that. So they took him into the hospital. Lovely young lady who was at that time attached to the hospice somehow, called Megan, came to see him and said, we're going to take you into the hospice. So it was the lead up to Christmas. There's a room down the corridor. It's a huge room. It's normally a 3-bedded room. And there was just David's bed in there. There was a Christmas tree in there. Lou was 3 at the time. So we all trooped in. So there was me, there was his brother John, his sister Claire, their families. And we sort of moved in, really. We took over. They must have hated us, and we took over. But just the fact of giving him that big room, Louis could run around, he could have his stuff. We left stuff here overnight. Before Christmas, he was in here on Christmas Day. We took him out to his sister's house, and he managed on a walking frame. We had Christmas Day at Claire's house. That was fine. But then when he came back after that, they said, you're not really ill enough to be in here. So then we had to discuss what was going to happen. And we decided that John's house was the biggest. So we got all the stuff delivered from here, like in a blink of an eye. There was a hospital bed, there was everything we needed at John's. He went to John's and he spent 4 weeks at John's. And then after 4 weeks of constant visits from the staff here, the support that you get, but he reached a point after 4 weeks where his continence had gone. So he wanted to come back. And good enough, within a couple of days he was back. And then he stayed till he died on the 1st of March. It was mentioned that there was a cuddle bed. As soon as they saw Louis, he was 3 but at the time, but little more than a toddler, to be honest, a toddler on a whirlwind. And it was suggested that there was a cuddle bed that David could actually be in and Louis could get in with him. But when we were in here, we did realise the cost. I mean, it must take an inordinate amount of money just to heat, light and staff the place. You don't start to think about all the extras, like the fact that when you're sat in the lounge, it's comfortable, you feel like you're in a lounge, but furniture doesn't last forever. Things have to be replaced. But the cuddle beds particularly, you get families in here, you get people with children, you get, I haven't come across it myself, but you could possibly get a young couple who just want some comfort from being next to each other. And these cuddle beds, they're invaluable. When there's actually a designated place where you can be safe, you can be together, you're encouraged to cuddle, to hold your child, to let them climb on the bed, or to hold your partner. And all these things cost a phenomenal, an inordinate amount of money. You just wouldn't believe if you didn't see the prices. but they're so valuable. They're all part of the experience. It's what makes the hospice so different from anywhere else. It is a home from home, and just the comfort of a comfy sofa to sit on, a bed where Louis can jump up, get on the bed with his dad, have a nap. I can't really explain how, at that time in your life, how amazing it feels to be surrounded. You literally feel like this place has put its arms around you and pulled you in. And while you're in here, you're safe. In the run-up to Christmas, I know that lots of people think about contributing to charities when they wouldn't normally do it, and we get the adverts on the telly, and I've always done that. But I have to say now, my charity is Trinity Hospice, and that's it. And that's where I want to be supportive because of how I felt. I feel like I belong, and I think a lot of people would tell you when they've been in here, they feel like they belong, and it leaves you with that feeling. So I think what I would say to people is in this run up to Christmas, when people do think about contributing to charities, think about Trinity, think it's close to home. Whether you're aware of it or not, you will know somebody who's been in here. You will know somebody who's received this amazing care. Don't think you can't help, because you can. However little, you can.